Mom's changed a lot since leaving dad. It's not so much a change, it's just her being what she always wanted to be. I don't know if she always wanted to own a house in Moab, but I do know the thought process she definitely had was, now I can, so now I'm going to. Dad likes to take the lead. Dad likes to take the next step. Dad likes to make the plan, follow the plan, stick to the plan. David is a phenomenal support. David is happy to take a step back and just say, I will be here for a trust fall.
Hi, besties. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Well, we've got some more legal problems happening on Sister Wives. The show, which airs on TLC and has been on air for 15 years, often does not include the legal problems that occur behind the scenes. When Cody and Peyton were sued and had to pay out on a car accident, never discussed on the show. Numerous law enforcement issues never discussed on the show, but was discussed was them suing Utah. But generally speaking, anything that would potentially paint them in an unfavorable light has not been on the show, which is not unusual. I mean, welcome to Plathville stars. Kim Plath was arrested for DUI and TLC never once spoke about it. Wasn't brought up. Viewers have no clue if they don't pay attention to the news. But new legal problems are hitting Christine's stepson, Max. And in the span of just a few months, Max has been arrested a total of 4 times, is facing felonies for car theft and items related to burglary, and is dealing with something going on here that is causing significant problems in his life. So on Monday, there were 2 warrants issued for his arrest in Utah. One issued on the July 18th and then ordered into the court on July 21st is related to theft and receiving a firearm or an operable motor vehicle, a second-degree felony. This is related to a charge that occurred back in March, and it was related to a stolen car. In fact, he was picked up 3 separate times this spring with different cars that he stole. According to the arrest warrant, he's commanded to be arrested and deliver him to the Salt Lake County Jail, and he is currently not in custody, and he may be transported within the state. The defendant must appear in court on the next available date. His new bail has been set at $25,000, which is an increase of his previous bail of $5,000. And the warrant was issued by the judge, Patrick Coram. And then a separate warrant was issued in another case on the same day by the same judge. And this is for charges relating to firearms, theft of firearms, or operating motor vehicle. So he stole a car again, a second-degree felony, and manufacturing and possessing burglary tools. This is also a $25,000 bail, and he is again commanded to be delivered to the Salt Lake County Jail. And law enforcement agency Bluffdale Police Department has the one that issued the arrest warrant. So he has 2 active warrants out for his arrest for theft. Now, what actually went down, according to the court records, he was picked up 3 separate times in the month of March with stolen cars. In one of the cases, which included a stolen vehicle, this one occurred on March 6th, and he had no valid driver's license. The probable cause statement stated that on March 6th at 15:50 hours, they were on patrol and they observed a copper Jeep Wrangler traveling northbound on Redwood Road. I believe the vehicle was similar to the vehicle from an earlier LPR hit. I positioned my patrol vehicle behind the Jeep and observed a license plate affixed to the truck lid. A computer query revealed the Jeep was listed as stolen. I conducted a traffic stop and detained the driver, later identified as Maddox Woolley, with his U.S. passport. After reading his rights, he admitted to being in possession of a stolen vehicle and driving without a license. Based upon that, he was found in violation of these 2 codes and he was arrested. Um, So that was one of the first incidents that occurred on March 6th. And then on March 21st, he was arrested for damage or destruction of property, failure to comply with duties of a vehicle accident, failure to stop at command of law enforcement, possession of a stolen vehicle, and reckless driving. This says that on March 21st at 18:06 hours, he was patrolling and I observed a silver passenger vehicle fail to stop at a stop sign before entering a roadway at a high rate of speed. The vehicle passed me and the occupants appeared to be startled by my presence. I completed a U-turn and attempted a traffic stop of the vehicle. I observed a silver passenger vehicle accelerate at a high rate of speed and failed to stop at another stop sign. As I cleared the intersection, I saw the vehicle and I turned north. I was able to get the same street as the vehicle, and as I turned, I saw the occupants of the vehicle had fled the scene. The vehicle was damaged, a trash can, and the doors were open. Other officers and I were able to locate the suspect. I spoke to a male who identified as Maddox Woolley. I questioned Maddox about the vehicle, and eventually he stated that he was inside the vehicle. He advised that another person was the driver and he was just a passenger. He also filled out a formal statement form. Other officers were able to make contact with the person that he had identified as the driver. I questioned that person and was able to confirm that he was not involved. I questioned Maddox a second time, and he stated he was lying about the previous story and stated he was driving the vehicle and he fled the scene. Car was later confirmed to be stolen. So that was on the 21st of March. And then another charge, which was receiving stolen property, a theft of a car, an unlawful manufacturing possession of burglary tools. And that offense was on March 12th. So he got arrested on the 6th, the 12th, and the 21st. And then according to the affidavit for probable cause of the March 12th incident, it is stated that a uniformed duty of traffic enforcement in Bluffdale, they initiated a state search on a silver four-door passenger car with a Utah license plate of I received a stolen vehicle hit alert and had then advised 911 dispatch to confirm. Upon receiving the confirmation that the vehicle was stolen, I instructed the driver exit the vehicle and after placing him in handcuffs, detained him in the patrol car cage of my vehicle. I informed the passenger Maddox Woolley to exit the vehicle and escorted him to the near of the stolen vehicle. I instructed Maddox that he was currently detained due to the stolen vehicle alert. Removing items from his pockets, I found a vape pen, tobacco pouches, two window breakers, and a face covering. While continuing my investigation, I observed stabbing marks on the passenger's rear window that were consistent with the use of a window breaker. I also observed the front passenger window appeared shattered from a window breaker or a similar device. A search of the vehicle discovered Maddox's passport in a black bag that did not belong to him. The items found in the same bag also did not belong to him. I determined probable cause was to arrest him for possession of a stolen vehicle, manufacture and possession of burglary tools, possession of tobacco by a minor, and theft motor of a vehicle. Now, he is 19 years old, but vaping is not legal for anyone under the age of 21 in the state of Utah. The current offense is a felony. There is substantial evidence to support the charge, and through clear and convincing evidence, would constitute a substantial danger to another individual or to the community, or is likely to flee the jurisdiction of the court if released on bail. So he had three separate charges on the 6th, the 12th, and 21st, each time with a different vehicle, each time charged with vehicle theft. And then in June, he was charged actually with possession of marijuana, and that case was actually oddly dismissed. Now, the car theft cases are happening in multiple different jurisdictions. One occurred in Utah County. That one has already gone through the court system and he's been sentenced, but he has two pending in Salt Lake County, and Salt Lake County is the one that issued the warrants this week. But in the case that occurred in Utah County, this is the one that happened on March 21st, and in that case, he was pled guilty to a third degree felony, and he pled guilty to failure to stop or respond to commanding of police. So he pled guilty to having a stolen car and to not stopping or responding to police. He was sentenced to The defendant is sentenced to an indeterminate term of not to exceed 5 years in the Utah State Prison. The prison term is suspended based upon the defendant's conviction of fail to stop and respond to command on a third-degree felony. The defendant is sentenced to an indeterminate term of not to exceed 5 years in prison. That is suspended. Based on the defendant's conviction of theft, firearm vehicle, third degree, the defendant is sentenced to a term of 27 days, and that credit was granted for 27 days previously served. So he has a suspended prison sentence, and he's now placed on probation. So upon proof of completion, he is ordered to complete his GED or high school diploma. And if he does, he will get a credit of 215 granted towards his fines. His orders of probation include that he's placed on probation for 36 months. He's supervised by the adult probation and parole. He's to serve 27 days in jail. He is to or report to the office by Friday, May 30th to comply with all standard conditions of supervision and following additional conditions, is to develop and comply with the case action plan during supervision to address risk factors. He is to obey all laws and have no further violations during the probation period outside of minor traffic violations. He's to notify the council of current address at all times. He is to notify probation and parole and counsel of a current email and phone number, comply with interstate compact requirements, obtain a substance abuse evaluation, and comply with recommended treatment, complete a mental health evaluation, and to be treatment compliant, including taking prescribed medications during the probation, to complete theft reform courses, to engage in approved pro-social activities, to obtain a GED or high school diploma, to not use, abuse, or possess alcohol, recreational marijuana, or THC, or frequent places where these are sold, not to use or abuse, possess recreational marijuana, even if it is purchased or consumed in a state in which it's legal. And they can only use medical marijuana pursuant to Utah state law. They are to sign HIPAA forms or any other release forms for information to be released to adult probation and to have no contact with co-defendants unless approved by probation and parole. So his next hearing on that is on the 6th of August. So in one case, he got probation with a suspended sentence and he was ordered to stay in compliance with probational terms. And then somehow he failed to appear on 2 separate charges in Salt Lake County, and it's those cases now that have warrants out for his arrest. And then a case that occurred in June, in the beginning of June, on June 1st for the charge date that occurred in Utah County, which is just days after he was sentenced and ordered not to have any drugs in his or contact with any drugs or use of drugs. He was charged with possession of a controlled substance, a Class B misdemeanor, which was in violation of uh, 583782, and he intentionally possessed or used a controlled substance, which was marijuana. So he was found with marijuana only days after he accepted a plea and probation, which included no use of drugs or recreational drugs. And then another count was possession of drug paraphernalia, and that was also on June 1st. And it doesn't state what it was. It's a Class B misdemeanor. And ultimately, that case was dismissed because it's being referred to the county prosecutor's office, not the city. So the city of Provo was initially going to review that case, and now it's going to the county. And I'm not sure if it's going to the county because he has this active probation where it says not to use drugs or alcohol. But so only days later, after he's receives a deal telling him that your sentence is suspended so long as you stick to these guidelines, he was arrested then for using marijuana. So whatever is going on with him, something is, and it would appear that Christine and David have been kind of traveling and sort of doing their own thing. And he's pretty young. He was actually the youngest one of the kids, of David's kids, that dealt with the loss of his wife. So I think he was only like 5 or 6 when his mom died, and he's had multiple run-ins with the law. He's had a long history of using various substances, and now in the span of only a few months, he's been charged 3 separate times with felony, uh, car theft. And at this time, he is not in custody in Utah County or in Salt Lake County. He has been in and out of jail for the past 4 months. Earlier this month, he was actually in Salt Lake. He was transferred from Utah County jail to Salt Lake County, but as of today, he is not listed in Utah County or as an inmate in Salt Lake detention. But active warrants are out for his arrest in Salt Lake County. And so once he's found and arrested, I'm sure he'll be held in jail. And it could be possibly a strike on his probation, given that he failed to appear for a court date in a separate case. So, whatever's going on with him, I hope that it gets resolved, and he's facing some serious time in prison. And if he's dealing with mental health issues or with a drug problem, um, hope that he gets the help that he needs. He's very young. He's only 19 years old, and he's racked up a serious criminal history in just a matter of months. And thus far, no statements have been made by Christine or by David. In fact, they've been traveling in Germany and all over Europe and all over Utah, going on trips with Truly for the last several months while during the summer. And Christine's been preparing for a book. And there's been really no mention about anything that's been happening with him. So, and I don't know that it'll be covered on the series at all. They tend to keep stuff off the show that would not be favorable to it. But these are some serious charges, and this is someone that's been on TLC. So, right now, active warrants out for his arrest, bond at 25,000 on both charges, and based upon his probation that he has for another case, it's possible that once arrested, he won't be allowed bail. So, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.